it's Aimee Bernard. I am an assistant professor in the Department of Immunology and Microbiology here at the CU Anschutz Medical Campus. And I have partnered with the Office of Advancement to ask a scientist a question, which is a monthly opportunity for all of you to ask questions about anything related to basic science or things here on the Anschutz campus that I could possibly answer for you. And if I can't, I'll find an expert who can. So we'll reach out to others. Last month in May, we had a video that was answering the question, why does science always change its mind? And we talked about how that has to do with the scientific method, and that part of the process is running experiments, analyzing results, and making new discoveries. And as a result, sometimes changing our mind or modifying what we're thinking about. So the question for this month has to do with shingles and chickenpox. So a question comes from Jeff in Golden, who asks, why were kids urged to get chickenpox in the 1970s if this leads to shingles? And then further, back in the 1970s, parents seemed to be encouraged to have their kids get chickenpox. But now as an adult, you're at risk to get shingles due to that past infection. So he has a son that got vaccinated for varicella zoster virus, so the virus that causes chickenpox, and he wants to know if he might still face shingles later. So that's a lot of questions to unpack, but I'll do my best. So first off, varicella zoster virus is the virus that causes chickenpox the first time you're infected, and then later it can come back or be reactivated as shingles. Varicella zoster virus is a herpes virus, and herpes viruses are double-stranded DNA, just like all of the DNA in our own bodies, which is double-stranded DNA. So when herpes viruses infect us, they become integrated into our genome. And that's because the herpes viruses carry an enzyme called integrase that allows them to become part of our genome. Now, without that enzyme, they couldn't stick around. So herpes viruses, if you have been infected with chickenpox, it has integrated into your DNA and it's living with you. For most of us, we get over chickenpox and then the virus is kind of quiet or latent in our body. The second appearance of the chickenpox or varicella zoster virus is the zoster version or shingles. And that usually comes out later when you're older. Typically when you're immunocompromised, which could be incredible amounts of stress. It could also just be aging because our immune system ages as we get older. It doesn't work as well. It could be like a stressful event, a death in the family. Sometimes that can, or death of a loved one can kind of force that immunocompromised state. So for those of us that were infected with varicella zoster virus and had chickenpox, it is a possibility that it will reactivate as shingles later in our life. This is not true of everyone. Again, it takes advantage of that immunocompromised or weakened state of the immune system. Now, the question related to the child that was vaccinated, is it less likely that kids who were vaccinated for shingles, which by the way, that vaccine was approved in 1988, it is less likely that they will have shingles or will have shingles appear later in life. It is not an absolute impossibility, but it is less likely if they've gotten the vaccine that they would have that reemergence of shingles. So to answer Jeff's question, so parents in the 1970s did not have the vaccine as an option. A lot of people did not know how serious the chickenpox could be. Now, in most kiddos, it's a fever, rash, that blistering chickenpox rash. Rarely, though, it can cause a lot of complications. You can have vessel or vascular inflammation. In some kids, this can lead to stroke. It is rare, but it is not an improbability. So chickenpox can be quite serious, but back in the 1970s, we didn't have the vaccine. So parents would have chickenpox parties. Again, not a good idea. Now, again, remember, science is evolving using what we know. So we now recommend against anything like that. Don't have a chickenpox party. Get the vaccine. That's going to eliminate the illness to start. So no chickenpox, and also less likely to have shingles. So Jeff, I hope that answers your question. And to those of you out there, please don't hesitate to send other questions. We love getting your questions, and I love answering all kinds of questions, not just immunology. Just throw anything our way.